I just finished stage one of Tour de Zwift, the longer ride. I am tired. Probably gonna retire from cycling after this. Welcome back to the channel, boys and girls. Today we're gonna talk about 3 reasons why buying a secondhand bike might be right for you. I'm also gonna talk about my Trek Emonda behind me, go through all the different components on it, and I'm also gonna explain why I'm selling this bad boy right here, so stay tuned. With so many bike shops being completely sold out of brand new bikes for months, a lot of us are having to turn to the second-hand market. And so today I'm going to show you just why buying a used bike might be the right decision for you. As no surprise to anyone, cycling can be an extremely expensive sport. And the more you're spending, the more you're going to see a diminishing return on your investment. So this first reason on why buying a used bike might be right for you, it comes down to price. I remember when I bought my first bike, which was the Trek Emonda, I remember going into the store, I had a very specific budget in mind. What ended up happening was I didn't account for all of the other things that you have to buy. So you could have a budget for just a frame, but then if you're new to cycling, you have to buy the cycling shoes, you have to buy a helmet, you have to buy a saddlebag, maybe some lights if you're gonna be riding your bike in low light. You're gonna have to buy extra inner tubes. You're gonna have to buy some tools if you expect to do a little bit of maintenance and fixing at home. So all of these different prices and costs, they add up. And so what you thought you were gonna purchase with just the bike itself, you could easily end up spending $300 or $400 more just to get into cycling. And so if you buy a secondhand bike, the cost floor is a little bit lower now. And so that will give you a little bit of wiggle room to be able to purchase all of the different accessories and tools that you're gonna need just to be able to go out there and ride your bike on the road. The second reason why buying a used bike might be right for you is if you use your primary bike a lot. The Illuminati rule number 12, the correct number of bikes to own is N+1. So if you're someone out there who's putting in thousands of miles, thousands of kilometers each and every year, then it would be a good idea to have a backup bike. This way you'll be able to swap components off of it if the bikes are similar. If you happen to crash your first bike, whether it's because of racing or any specific accident, it's nice to have another bike that you can rely on when you get home. That way you're not stuck without a bike for several weeks if the bike is in the shop, or in these days that we're in now, you're not having to wait several months to buy a new bike because your local bike shop is sold out of whatever bike you're looking for. And the third reason why buying a used bike might be right for you is if you think you're gonna start dabbling into different types of cycling. So for example, if when you get into cycling, you realize that you want to be a triathlete instead of just a road cyclist, you might want to look into getting a bike specific for triathlons and for Ironmans. And so this would be a good reason why you'd want to have another bike. For example, maybe you want to start training to climb on hills and mountains and you want a lightweight specific climbing bike for that. That would also be a good reason why having a second bike would be good. And it'd be something that's cheap, so you're not spending a lot of money just in case you decide down the road that you don't want to be riding on the hills and mountains. And another reason too is gravel bike is becoming very popular these days. And so if you don't want to be using your precious aero bike out on the gravel roads and limestones, then having a backup bike that's a gravel bike could be a good idea for you. So about my bike behind me here, we have the Trek Emonda S4. It's a size 58 H2 geometry, so it's a little bit more comfortable than say the H1 or H1.5 fits, who are a little bit more aggressive. Time out. So now you see the front of the Trek Emonda says made in China, right? Now, when I was building my Yolio frame, there were a few of you guys in the comments saying, oh, China, they're incapable of making quality bike components and carbon frames and all this other stuff, blah, 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 blah. As you can see, that is absolutely false. In fact, most of the manufacturers today, when it comes to carbon components, have their parts made in China. So it's very clear that China is more than capable. In fact, they're the leaders when it comes to carbon bike components. The key is to do your research, do your due diligence, and know exactly what you're getting into when you are dealing with Chinese products before you make your purchase. Now let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. This particular bike is an entry-level Trek Emonda, so Trek uses their 300 series carbon frame and fork. It comes with Shimano Tiagra 4600 10-speed group set. Out back, I have an 11 to 28 cassette with a 50-34 compact crank out front with 175 millimeter cranks. Rim brake, of course. As far as tires and wheels, we got Bontrager's tubeless ready wheels and the 23-inch tires. The cockpit out front comes with a 44 centimeter width alloy handlebar set. We have a 90 millimeter alloy stem, and I have these really cool, not really, Supercast alloy spacers. The total weight for this bike, including pedals, is 9.2 kilograms or 20.2 pounds. Now you're probably asking yourself, why am I selling my backup bike? Well, for starters, I never use it. As you guys know who have followed this channel, a few months back, I built myself a custom aero bike courtesy of Yolio Components. And honestly, ever since I've started to ride that, I just really haven't used this one at all. I'll probably use it once or twice, but it is a little bit on the larger side. And since my riding style has evolved over these past few months, I do prefer a more aggressive frame. I also thought about maybe stripping out all the components on it and upgrading them to Ultegra 11-speed group set, but truthfully, even if I did that, my Yolio frame would still be lighter than that back there. So the real reason why I'm selling my backup bike is because I will be building up a second custom bike, but this one will be specific for criterium racing. Now you're probably asking yourself, I thought the bike that I built previously with the Yolio components was supposed to be a race bike, and technically it is. However, as of today, the only products that Yolio offers that are UCI legal are just their wheels. And so I didn't want to take any chances. Comment down below to let me know if having all UCI products is actually important. But with this specific frame, this one is UCI legal. So stay tuned on the channel as I build up a second custom criterium race bike. Also let me know down in the comments below what you think this frame is here behind all this packaging. Well, that's about it for this video, guys. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below, and I'll check you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace. Are we done recording? Ugh, man, I'm gonna go take a nap. Maybe make myself an old fashioned and just get this away from me. Ugh, sick of this. Gonna take a nap.